lost track of where my water bottle was. Do you guys know that YouTube sometimes defaults you to a quality of 240p, which looks like I'm recording on a potato, which I am, but like I'm recording on a very pricey potato. So if you don't have it, you should click to 720, which will make it look like less of a potato and more of a parsnip, I guess. But welcome to Sunday. We're gonna eat more soup. I don't really have much content because I am very tired for some reason. I think just coming back from vacation and then working a pretty heavy week in terms of, I think this past week I shot 5 recipe videos, and I just went to Astoria and bought some groceries for next week's shoot. And I'm also kind of stressed because for the event that I'm supposed to go to next week from Monday through Wednesday, I needed to have a negative PCR test, and the place told me that my results would be ready by today, but they haven't come in yet, so I'm just like, if I don't have these results, I probably can't go on the trip, and the trip is tomorrow, so not sure when the results are coming in. But anyway, we're gonna eat some soup. Yes, thank you to everyone who likes these overalls. I found them at a Goodwill in California, and they were 10 bucks. And then on a live, we decorated them with these little buttons. They're not actually buttons, they're like broken pieces from a bracelet that a high school friend gave me once upon a time for my birthday or Christmas, I can't remember which. And I've kept them because I've really I love them a lot. And I've always wanted to do something with them, so we sewed them on a live. Unfortunately, this grommet, is it called a grommet? I can't remember. But whatever, this metal-y thingy fell off in the wash, and so we sewed that one back on too. So this is a very Frankenstein overall. I'm into it. I'm glad you like it. Del, you might just have to refresh your window. Am I also laggy? I don't look laggy on my phone, but I don't think I look too laggy on the playback. Anyway, Aaron is watching football. He is very into the Bills' success, being from Rochester, New York, and so I think, you know, maybe instead of me going live today, we should have just live streamed on Twitch. We should have Twitched us watching football and me just like eating soup while Aaron looks disgruntled. Hello, Flint, Michigan. Patty, is Flint okay on the water or no? Not yet. Are we just giving up hope on the water situation in Flint? Do we just not care about it anymore? Is it out of the news cycle, out of the public's mind? We don't see it, we don't hear it. No evil is done if we don't pay attention to it. God, I'm so depressed. Hello, Maryland. I also have a lot of parsley that I want to eat because I'm going away. They were kind of wilting in the fridge, so we're just going to chop these up, put them in the soup. I'm going to microwave everything, and then I might just eat it out of the jar, like a lazy butt. Sure looks delicious, doesn't it? Where is my knife? Oh my god. God damn it. God damn it, Flint, Michigan. we're gonna get that soup out of the jar. I don't wanna eat like a sad hunk of meat today. I'm gonna treat myself with a bowl. God damn it. Look at this pretty bowl a viewer gave me. Delightful. Let's use it. Ooh, salmon fried rice. Look who's here. Hi, Freddie. Hello. Oh, what a good boy. Do you want some parsley? Do you want some parsley? I don't think you can have parsley. Sorry, bud. I don't think you want parsley anyway, Fred, okay? Oh, Valerie, I love tamarind soup. I've only had it like once or twice in my life, but I love it so very much. Let's pick a spoon. I haven't used the fish one in a while, but ooh, kind of want this one. Freddie, what are you waiting for, bud? I am near LaGuardia. We are on the landing path to LaGuardia. Freddie, I fed you already, buddy. You ate at 1:10 p.m. You don't get to binge like I do. I control everything you eat, Fred. For better or for worse. Why are you hiding behind me, Fred? You know, everyone wants to see you. Don't hide. I believe Aaron saw like somewhere that Viennetta was being reintroduced to the US under the Good Humor brand, and he saw it and he really wanted it, so we just decided that we wanted something to do with our life. And so that day when it was like Hurricane Henri, it was raining like cats and dogs outside, we just went outside to look for it because apparently some stores around us carried it, and we didn't end up finding it. And it just became a thing. I was like, well, you know, if he wants to have it and it's a fun video project for me, why don't we just keep looking for it? So we just kept looking for it, and then we found it. And then obviously at 879 it was quite a disappointment, and so I was like, well, wouldn't it be funny if we turned this into a trilogy, because who doesn't like a good trilogy? And we made one. So that's how that video came about. Hello, Canada. Do you play with him before you go to bed? Yeah, sometimes. We play with him when he wants to play. Sometimes he's just not into it. But no matter how much I play with him, he will always meow after he eats. So today when he meowed at 5:18 after he ate, I just waved that toy around and I played with him enough that he didn't meow too much to wake Aaron up. I think when he meows after eating, he just really wants to play. And so A lot of people have recommended that we ignore him so that he gets used to it, but honestly, he's been with us for like 6 months, and I would rather just spend 10 minutes waving a wand around in my half asleep state than for him to keep meowing for 20 minutes. I mean, I can't speak for Aaron. To my understanding, he just saw the news that Viennetta is available again, and like, Aaron really likes texture. He loves thin, crackly chocolate. He likes ice cream. We're both a big fan of ice cream sandwiches, so like that kind of mass-produced ice cream treat we're both very into. So when he saw that there was layers of crackly chocolate, he was like, yeah, let's go try find it. I was like, okay. You want soup, Freddy? You smell a little bit like fishy. You have bad breath? You have bad breath? What a silly boy. We give him Flovent. It's like an inhaler before he eats lunch. I give it to him during lunch now because I work from home and I'm here, and so I just decided to do it during the day rather than at night. Boop beep. Yes, he is asthmatic. Indeedly. We are not buying him a costume for Halloween. I kind of feel like dressing a cat up is like punishment, and it also costs me money, so it's kind of like a double punishment. So what's the point? What's the point, Fred? Human follies. We care not for them. They can go do landfill business elsewhere. Because I don't know, man. Costumes, they very much feel like a 1 or 2 time thing, and then people get tired of it. Oh, okay. You don't want any more? Fine. Okay. Not a big fan of me anymore. That's fine. That's fine, Fred. I don't need your love. Love is a lie. So I don't know what I said in yesterday's live, but yesterday's live got partially demonetized, aka like limited ad friendliness. So I didn't feel like I said more shit than usual, but maybe it was because we talked a little bit about disordered eating that got me into trouble. But whatever. So that's that. Hi, Fred. What are you doing, buddy? This soup's not for you. I'm gonna shut the window. This plane is insane. Insanity. Freddy, it's not for you, buddy. I am going to rinse out this jar and water down my soup with the remnants of the jar. YouTube has a lot of rules, and honestly, they're all very non-specific, and so you can get into trouble for anything at any time at their discretion. So I'm not going to censor myself Apparently you get 3 strikes before you're completely demonetized as a channel, so we'll see how far I make it down this game, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I just don't see the point in... It's kind of like performing for a circus if you have to follow rules like that. Funny that we live in the US of A, but we can't really have freedom if we care about making a living. Thankfully, this channel isn't my main income, but I was just thinking that if ever I were to rely on this, it would be as bad as working for an employer, honestly. You are at the whim of random algorithms and rules and unforetold fine prints. I don't know, Lena. No idea. Do you want to smell, Fred? No light, right? I told you you wouldn't like this. You didn't believe me. So now you can smell it. Here, smell it. Yeah. He smelled it and he made this face. Isn't that right, Fred? Linda, the egg in the semi-Frito, that's why I said halfway through making the layering process that if you are immunocompromised, you probably shouldn't make semi-Frito. Or I believe they do sell pasteurized eggs, so you can buy pasteurized eggs. Obviously, whenever you eat raw eggs, there is a chance of like E. coli, salmonella, poisoning, whatever. So that is an issue for people who have weakened immune systems. So do be careful. If you're not okay with eating raw eggs, then definitely don't eat the semi-Frito. I do not want to be responsible for anybody's food poisoning incidents, please. I feel like every one of my videos should have a disclaimer on it that's like, do not attempt this at home. Yeah, it's a pretty green soup. It's like yellow and green. Very, very colorful, and it looks quite healthy, but there's also like half a can of coconut milk in here and some bacon pieces. So it's for sure not without its rich points, which you gotta have healthy and you gotta have richness. What are you thinking, Fred? Hi, Fred. Do you want something from me? So Fred had FIV positive diagnosis, as well as potential stomach issues and potential stomach cancer when we were adopting him. But he actually, when we were fostering to adopt, he wasn't diagnosed with asthma yet. It was only when we noticed he would have these recurring issues and incidents of seeming hairball hacks, but no hairball coming up, that when we took him back, ow, Fred. Okay, fine. When we took him back to the vet and the vet gave him an x-ray, the vet was like, I think he has asthma. And we were like, oh, okay. Thai red curry, sweet potato, lentil soup. Freddie, buddy, My love, I just gave you food less than 2 hours ago. You gotta wait a little bit. He's like, if you don't feed me, then I don't give you my presents. FIV is like HIV, like human immuno. I don't actually know what HIV. What does HIV stand for, Aaron? Aaron's not listening to me. But it's basically the feline version of human HIV. But it's a little bit less dire in their case, and they just have kind of like a weakened immune system, but there can be more issues popping up. He is about 10 estimated, so as he gets older, we have to be mentally prepared for more and more health issues to pop in. Yeah, immunodeficiency virus. I think you're right. Thanks, everyone. A lot of cats are FIV positive. I'm not really sure how cats get it, but it can be spread if you get like a deep puncture wound by a cat who already has FIV positive diagnosis. Yeah, I mean, the reality is he's going to have his medical conditions and health conditions, and one day he's going to die. We all know we're going to die. And I'm just hoping that we're giving him a good enough place to live while he's still here. And I love him. He's brought me so much joy. And I feel like he's brought everyone so much joy, even people who claim to be not cat people, like my mom. So I'm very thankful for him in our lives, and we're going to try to do our best to take care of him and make sure he's in a comfortable little setting for the time that he has with us. Yeah, Linda, we don't need Google. We have everyone here. Yes, I do have a good squash collection. Yeah, I'm not too sad about it yet, but Aaron and I were chatting, and I forget what we were talking about, but he was like, you're going to be so sad when he passes away. And I'm like, uh-huh. And he's like, you're not going to handle it very well at all. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. I'm probably going to be like not functional. But let's not think too far ahead. Who knows? Maybe I'll die before Fred. We really don't know what life has in store for us, y'all. So let's not worry too much into the future. Fred only thinks about the food now. He doesn't think about the food in the future. You can have all the food now. Why wait? Yeah, I did cry thinking about it, but I was really high. And I get super emotional and connected with my feelings and my being when I'm high. So when I got high, I started crying about thinking about Fred dying. Yeah, you know, maybe tomorrow something weird happens and we all go kablam. We don't know, man. We just don't know. Ashlyn, the green one is the kabocha. Yeah, that's my favorite squash. I've actually not had anyone that close to me pass away, so this will be a very interesting experience. Obviously, I've had grandparents pass away, but I was either too young to grasp it, or I was already kind of like distant from them, both physically and emotionally, when they passed away. So it's I'm 32 and I haven't really experienced true grief yet in my life. Oh my gosh, Linda, where do you live? Go to sleep, my friend. Fred isn't too cuddly, but apparently Aaron got him to hug while he was napping. Fred sometimes will, like, I'll start petting him when he's on the bed, and he'll expose his belly to me, and I'll just scratch his chin and then maybe pat his belly, and if he's feeling really friendly, he'll kind of just hug my hand and forearm in, and he'll go back to sleep hugging it, and that's pretty much the closest I've ever gotten to cuddling with him. Eliza said, I've heard that once someone experiences true grief, they become much more empathic. I feel like that has to be true. Just once you've stretched beyond your prior borders of feeling and experience, that mental landscape just broadens. Damn, Jen, that's a twisty, windy path. You doing okay, or you healing, or what's going on? By the way, chopped parsley, if you're into that herby flavor, really nice and refreshing. Are you going to be naked? Should I pan down?
No, I will not be naked. Do you want me to be?
I mean, I'm sure somebody in chat wants you to be naked. That's one way to get demonetized channel real fast. Oh, the sweet potato? We cut it yesterday. I guess you weren't here. We trimmed it all because, and then I ate it because I was worried that Fred was munching on it, and apparently sweet potato leaves have LSD in it. When cats ingest it, they can hallucinate, throw up, or get like stomach cramps. So I didn't want that to be a possibility. He did throw up over last weekend, so I was like, oh, maybe that was what happened. But who knows? I just want to ensure that that doesn't happen again if it did happen. It is my first cat. I didn't used to like cats because my parents both hated cats. They had like rabbits and bunnies in China, and the neighbor's cat used to get to their baby bunnies and chickens. So they always harbored like this tragic hate against cats, and so I was brainwashed by them to not like cats. But then, as it turns out, Aaron was a closeted cat person. When we first met, he was like, I definitely like dogs. And then, like a year in, he was like, I like cats. And I was like, you like dogs more though, right? He was like, I was like, That was the first betrayal in our relationship. But as it turns out, cats poop out toxoplasmosis, and the more you come into contact with them, I feel like they just kind of set their little parasite in on you, and you can't help but love them more and more. So once I came into contact with friends' cats, I was like, I don't think I hate cats anymore. And then it turned into, I think I like cats. And then it turned into, oh my gosh, look at that stray cat, let's go feed it. And then it turned into, can I come visit you just to pet your cat? And then it turned into Aaron thinking that we needed to get a cat during the pandemic, so we got a cat. Live cooking with my mom. I haven't visited her house since COVID started. I definitely don't think I can have a dog in an apartment this small in New York City working the way that I do. I sometimes barely have time to play with Fred. I don't think I have the energy to walk a dog 4 times a day. It's okay though, because I know cats love to destroy plants. Fred actually doesn't like to destroy plants, but he does get curious, and I do think maybe when he gets hungry, he'll just get curious enough to taste it, even though it doesn't smell delicious to him, because I've had those vines for months and he's never really munched on them, but who knows, all it takes is a little bit for him to get sick from it. I still have that pot of repotted scallions too, so I'm thinking I should probably cook that soon so that he doesn't munch on those, because scallions, garlic, onions are not good for cats either, so. You just don't know. I have to confess to you, I froze the other 2 jars of soup because yesterday after I ended the live, I ended up watching a movie and eating 3 more bowls of soup, and I made myself pretty dang sick. And I was like, cannot do this anymore. So today I'm going to eat 1 bowl of soup, and then I'm going to eat other food so that I don't have an even weirder relationship with food on top of my pre-existing relationships with food. It feels like consuming food becomes a duty for me because I don't want food to go to waste, and sometimes I will eat it at the expense of my own well-being, which is very self-defeating. I think I'm okay, Poppy May. You tell me though. It's all perception of what's okay and what's not okay, isn't it? Mustard soup. That sounds good. Mustard greens can be delicious. I have some recipes for watermelon rind. There's a pickle one, and there's a stir-fry one. And I think both, but definitely the stir-fry one is up on Delish. So if you search watermelon rind delish, let's see. Yes. Here, let me post it. I'm actually really proud of that one. It tasted really good, in my opinion. Not gonna speak for you. And then here's the pickled one, but I just did the pickles because it was in the video, so I was like, all right, I'll make a recipe page for it, but you can use the watermelon rind in any pickle brine you want. Doesn't have to be that one. The stir fry though, I highly recommend giving it a try. Hello, Middle Tennessee. Black garlic. I've actually only tried it once and I was not a fan. It was like very sweet. It was almost like a sweet jam. But you can, I don't know. I'm not the person to ask. I'm sure Google knows what you can do with black garlic. My mom didn't let me know if she liked the nuts or not, which leads me to believe she didn't really like them. I watched this like Quentin Tarantino ripoff on Netflix with all these stars. Like Angela Bassett was in it, Michelle Yeoh was in it, Paul Giamatti was in it. I was like, what's going on? All these big names in this stupid ass movie. It was called Gunpowder Milkshake. It was like a very kind of cheeky Quentin Tarantino ripoff. Lots of blood splatters, lots of violence, but like a completely kind of saccharine, ridiculous framework. It was very like 60s horror exploitative kind of ripoff type deal. Although I will say, like, everyone else in that one, and whoever played the Lannister queen in Game of Thrones was in it too. I don't remember her name, but everyone in that movie's acting was like, eh. Like, I would say Paul Giamatti's acting was second runners up, or runners up, but Michelle Yeoh's acting, she is so underrated, and I'm very sad that she's not like in the American mainstream as an actor, because like, I didn't really buy into anyone else in that movie because that movie was so ridiculous. But every time Michelle Yeoh's face took up the screen, I was like, dude, magic. They came with these. This bowl, a viewer gifted me. I can't remember what her site is called. It might be like, it's something imperfects. Like small imperfects or little imperfects or something like that. I'm sorry, I can't recall right now. But I think her name is Chelsea Chelsea something. I can't remember though. It's been a while. My favorite dessert is cheesecake. I will never say no to cheesecake. Bye, Eliza. Take care. I hope you feel all of the feels. This soup is a trash soup. It has a lot of kale, it has potatoes, it has butternut squash and lentils and carrots and curry powder and coconut milk. I think my favorite cheesecakes are the ones without fruit. I just enjoy the naked cheesecake, you know? I won't say no to one with fruit and toppings and flavors, but the OG plain cheesecake. If you have good dairy going into that and you have someone who knows how to make it, someone who's controlling the sugar just right, the bake, the leavening, the texture, there's various kinds of cheesecakes. I just love them all. We had like a Basque cheesecake in Spain somewhere, and I was I didn't expect to like it that much. Aaron had it on his maps as like must go eat cheesecake, so we went to go get it. And I took a bite and I was like, I want another slice right now. Except they sold out. There was like a 2-hour line, so they sell the slices as soon as that cake is out. It was still warm and everything. Isa, what's your favorite Takis? Because mine is the guacamole kind. I love the guacamole flavor of Takis. There is a mix of work from home and return to office, folks. It truly depends on what you need to get done. If it's a photo shoot that requires a photographer, an assistant, a food stylist, blah, 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 then you need to go in and work in a common space. But for me, I've been getting assigned for lots of hosted videos, which I can do at work, which I can do at home. And I kind of just like get assigned the recipes, I develop them, I test them, and then I shoot them. I shoot stills and I shoot videos. Sometimes the stills aren't good enough because I'm not a professional photographer, and they will get reshot by a professional photographer. So there's just a lot of layers to everything that goes on. I don't know if I like lemon and cheesecake. I'll try it. That sounds good. Lemon and cream. I have so many digestive and stomach issues. I get a lot of stress, bloating, not necessarily from any food in particular, but just like stress will make me bloat painfully. But in terms of food, tomato sauce sets up my like acid reflux pretty bad. Oatmeal sets off my acid reflux pretty bad. I don't know why, but it does. Unfortunately, like beans, legumes, chickpeas especially make me bloat really bad, and I love them a lot, but unfortunately they're just not that good for me in the amounts that I eat them sometimes. But for the most part, if I keep my diet pretty balanced, my stomach is okay. Aaron is currently in the other room and he's working out like a good boy. He's like, if I'm gonna watch the second half of this football game, I might as well work out while doing it. Gluten will trigger my eczema sometimes. But for the most part, I don't have like stomach issues associated with gluten intake. I don't think. I've not been tested for celiac, and I don't think I have celiac, because I think if you have celiac, the reaction is pretty intense if you had gluten. And sometimes I will eat a lot of bread and pastries, and I've had no real reactions. When I was showering, Aaron was yelling. Like when the Bills scored, I heard through all of our walls and the bathroom door him going, touchdown. Yes. I don't think dairy is a big trigger for me, but definitely gluten and sugar. When I had to test brownies and cookies for a challenge for Delish a couple of years ago, my hands were so bad. They just would not stop cracking. And yeah, I hope to never do that to myself again. I don't think I would put color to my hair. I don't want to buy the dye. I don't want to deal with the mess. I'm really lazy. I like to keep it low maintenance. So, you know, if in the future anybody else wants to play with my hair and color it, I'll let them do it. But I'm not motivated enough to do anything with this. So, good afternoon. I'm Schneckenhaus. Interesting. What does it mean if you test positive for celiac with no symptoms? Like, were you just like quietly destroying your body inside out, or is there just no downside to eating gluten if you are not displaying symptoms? I don't know about celiacs that much, so. Marmite we had. Broville, I've never heard of. I'm gonna Google that. What is that? Trademark name of a thick and salty meat extract paste, similar to a yeast extract. Developed in the 1870s by John Lawson Johnston. Sold in distinctive bulbous jars and cubes and granules. Owned by Unilever. Its appearance is similar to Marmite and Vegemite. I see. I was not a fan of Vegemite when we had it. It was very intense. I'm not into that salty, briny flavor, and I truly didn't know how to use it. I don't know what we did with it. I think Aaron slowly ate it, but not my thing. You know? If we do another one of those random ingredients out of a hat and I pull out Marmite, I'm sure I'll figure out things to do with it. But if I can choose, no, I'm not going to. Wow, somebody just left a really long comment on the Let's Define Toxic and Codependency Relationships stream. I'm gonna have to read that later. That seems very informative. Like, they're going all into the DSM-5 too, and Asperger's. Okay. Knowledge being spilled everywhere. I have soup stuck in my teeth, y'all. Sorry. I think my trip to California and having 2 weeks off from work has helped me mentally detach a little bit in terms of my investment in my job in a way, because I was able to like escape that environment for a longer period of time and just refresh a little bit. And also, I don't know if you saw my Instagram story, but the way that Hearst rejected my expenses for tipping too high, even though I stayed under my meal allotment amount for the day, really kind of broke another straw on my back. Or, you know, whatever that saying is. It didn't break my back, but it was another straw that is going to break my back. This company truly makes me feel sadder and sadder every day. Not Delish. Let's not confuse the brand and the wonderful people that I work with. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea that I hate my brand. Everyone that I work with is amazing. That's why I'm still there. But Hearst, the parent company of Delish, who owns so many other media brands and businesses, is just unbelievably exploitative and manipulative, and very, very Scroogey, like all corporations, I guess. They're not any different from any other corporation, as much as they like to say they are. But I'm just tired of, they made me pay back $17 that I paid in tip because they said anything above 3 something was against company rules. But I was given no company rules about tipping too much. There is no definitive rule about tipping. And so to exist in an environment where you're not given the rules clearly and definitively, and you are staying within your bounds under the rules they have given you, and then to be told later that you did something wrong and that you have to compensate the company for your wrongdoing, which was never clearly delineated, I don't know, man. And also me being involved in organizing for the union and just seeing all the stuff that goes down in those bargaining sessions has made me lose faith. And there is truly no other word for it than demoralized. I feel very demoralized. So they told me 15, and then they later said 20%. But the problem is the handbook never said those percentages. And I was given $50 to spend per dinner meal period, and I stayed within the $50. My meal itself, the dish itself, was $15.50. I tipped 20. I paid $35.50, which is $14.50 under the $50 maximum for dinner. I had another dinner where I ate and the bill came to $70, so I put $50 of it on the company card, and then I paid for the other 20 plus tip on my personal card. They had no problems with me spending $50 at another place on another dinner, but they did have a problem with me spending $35.50 on a dinner simply because $20 of that amount was a tip. Why should it matter? What if I wanted to tip people and then I ate that cheaper meal on purpose? It makes no sense. It is the same amount of money going out of the company and into a restaurant's hand. And it's just a matter of whether or not I expended it on food or on service. It is so extremely petty and completely illogical. And why? It just makes me think that you're the villain. Because the only rule you can give me is, we don't want you to use our money to tip people. People who are probably making not a great amount of money working in restaurants, because I've worked those restaurant jobs. And can I just tell you, I don't regret tipping 20 at all. I'm fine with paying the $17 back on my own, because I remember when I gave her the receipt and she saw that I had tipped her 20, she was like so shocked and ecstatic. She said, "No, too much." And I was like, "Not too much." Like, just being able to see that, like, that was potentially a highlight for her to receive that tip was happiness enough for me to do that. But it truly discourages me to see that my company isn't generous enough to let me spend my allotment on tip. Oh, you missed Fred Schneckenhaus. Fred was here earlier, but because I refused to give him food, he left. And I don't want to go into the other room and bother Aaron because he's probably working out in his underpants. I'm sure you'd like to see that. But not for this channel for now. You shall have to pay more on my Patreon, which is not established yet. If you added too much vinegar, you can add some sugar to balance it out. Then you would have a sweet and sour instead of a sour sour. I would avoid adding more salt because I think salt highlights vinegar. So they are totally against workers' rights, as is expected for a company who has hired anti-union lawyers to fight this union at every turn. Baby mush recipes. But Tom, all of my live streams are mush food. I think mush, you just keep cooking it until it's mush, or you blend something until it's mush. You got smoothies, you got fruit purees, you can make some like compotes and blend them up. You can make lentil soups, bean soups, mash them up, carrot soups, parsnip soups, broccoli soups, cheesy soups, cornmealy soups, polenta, ice cream. Am I okay to talk about work on my day off? I think so. Work is always on my mind, whether or not I want to admit it to myself. Your company can exploit their employees because they know they won't leave. That's part of it. I remember the very first anti-union meeting that we had with management. It was basically communicated to us that working at Hearst is a privilege. It is a choice to stay, and we don't have to stay. And we were told that Hearst has a history of taking care of its people, and so if we disagreed, then it wasn't explicitly said, but it was inherently implied that we were wrong to think that we're being mistreated at Hearst, and there's no reason for a union. And if we didn't like it, we can go away. So noted. And obviously, a lot of people have left over the years. Hello, little Ludite. Hello, Oakland. Oh. I do believe I need some water, folks. Are you guys staying hydrated? Yeah, sweet and sour recipes, you really need to go a little bit heavier than you think you want to, because you really need that sugar to make it taste like restaurant. When people say they're not good cooks, I feel like most of the time they're just not willing to put in the amount of fats, sugars, and salts that restaurants do. Because you feel bad putting in that much shit. But that's what makes restaurant food taste good most of the time. So it's not that you're a bad cook, it's just that you're a very conscientious eater. Ooh, vitamins, thank you for the reminder. Yes, Marissa, these were at a Goodwill in California, in Pasadena. But these flares are my own. We sewed them on. We fixed the grommet that came off in the wash. The catalyst to organize, to unionize, I don't really know. I wasn't involved in the initial stages of underground organizing. I only jumped on board about 2 months before we went public, so I wasn't really privy to the original reasons. But it has become clear to me all the different reasons why we unionized. Just when a company fights so hard to not give a union what they want, it means that they are not treating their workers well on various different fronts, and the company is probably exhibiting a lot of disorganized behavior and structural systems that add to confusion, which might be maliciously intentional or due to pure incompetence, or a combination of both. I'm starting to think it's a combination of both. Hello, Honey Hips. What a name. Welcome back. I couldn't find a fabric tag, but I think it's cotton. Yeah, not really sure. Thank you. It is like, is this a mother of pearl? Is that what you call it? Paula, it was a Goodwill in Pasadena. I don't know which one because when Aaron and I went to LA, we were eating somewhere in Alhambra, and a viewer who followed us on Instagram saw Aaron's story, and he DM'd us, and he was like, "I'm sorry if this is like intrusive, but can I come say hi?" And we basically invited him to come share our meal because we had so many different food spots to eat at that we love the idea of having someone to help us eat stuff so we can try more things. So he came by and he was so generous that he proceeded to drive us around the area for like 6 hours, and we had dinner together with another friend of ours, and it was overall a fantastic scheduled last day in LA. Due to our delayed flight, we actually had an extra day in LA, but it was like a very chaotic, uneventful extra day. But you shall all see that in the vlogs coming to you in the next few months, depending on when I can edit them. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys, it definitely seems like people are very into the kind of epically long videos. Like Budget Eats is like 90 to 100 minutes. And my 1 week food diary has the most amount of views on my personal channel as well, and that one was over an hour and a half as well. I don't think I want to do the LA footage in a long format. I think I am going to break them up into separate days, day by day, so you would have 7 different videos instead of one big one, or even 2 big ones. What do you guys think? You want to weigh in? What do you prefer to watch? I feel like I have my audience now. You should give me some intel as to what you want to watch. Paula, you're in Pasadena. Well, go to the Goodwill. I mean, Donald, if you follow Tess on Instagram, you would know that Tess has a lot of health issues. So I don't know if that's news to you, but you can follow her Instagram and you can learn more about how well she's doing. I am not the news source for Tess, although I do love her dearly. I too am very confused about what to think of people who didn't vaccinate. I'm sure people have different excuses and reasons. Some, in my mind, more valid than others, but you know what? That's a whole other discussion that we could be having that I don't feel like getting into today. Hold up, I'm confused. Tom Kins, you're that guy from Pasadena? Are you the one who drove us around? Because that's not your Instagram name. I'm confused. Identify yourself. Clear my confusion. But yes, I'm glad to represent all the cooks out there who don't follow recipes and who just wing it, because I enjoy that now maybe media can start paying more attention to cultures that don't have written recipes and encourage different forms of more liberated cooking. And I feel like, at least in the American spotlight, there's been a lot of do this and then this and then this and then you will have a success on your hands. And I just feel like, for the most part, for many years, that has made me feel lesser than. Fred is in the other room. Oh, tips about managing anxiety about going back to work. Depends on what's giving you anxiety about going back to work. Do you hate your job? Do you hate going back to work in the middle of COVID? Is it all of the above? Is it unexplained anxiety sources? That's a big question too. That's true. I will definitely give you connected ones. I'm gonna have to do more playlists. I drink tap water. We don't have filters. Why are you awake on 3:35 on a work day? Yo, go to sleep. Yeah, Indian cooking. I feel like when I watch cooking, like Thai recipes, like there's no real measurements. It's like there's a Korean saying for it too. I don't remember what it is now in Korean, but it basically means like the taste of fingers or the taste of hands, and it's just when you've cooked enough, you know exactly how much to pinch. It's like almost muscle memory, and it's almost like your hands have a brain of their own. And I feel like to really cherish that aspect of cooking and to allow yourself to experiment and to just go with the flow is really comforting and affirming, life affirming, if you will. I feel like that phrase has come into the spotlight too this year. I'm like, what the fuck is life affirming? Isn't everything life affirming? I don't know a Middle Eastern soup recipe called ash. Let me know what it is. I know Fred wants a treat. Do you want me to feed him a treat? Fred always wants a treat. Freddie! Wonder if he's awake. Nowco, being in bed sounds great. I would honestly still be in bed too, if I could stream from bed, but Aaron wanted some private time and space, and I want to respect that. I don't think Fred is coming. I think he might be sleeping. Mooncakes are expensive because, have you tried making one? Girl. Never tried Singaporean recipes before. Never cooked crab. The last time I had crab, my mom made it for me when I was in like elementary school. Freddie! Wow. Let me check on him. You wanna come for a treat? Come, the people wanna see you. Jesus, calm down. Yikes. Are there any easy Singaporean recipes that won't intimidate me? Oh my gosh. Yes, I like the egg yolks too. They are the best part. Hey, don't bat me. Yes, I love laksa. Aaron loves laksa too. Freddie, that wasn't nice. I don't think I'm gonna give you any more. These drive you crazy. They make you into an addict. No more. You punched me. You punched me. Look into the camera and tell them why you punched me. Bye, Lena. Hello, Albany. Why are you such a cute boy? Why are you such a cute boy? Still staring at the treats out of the corner of his eye. Spaghetti bolognese? Is there a take on it? I love bolognese. I love all red sauces. Can't feed you all the time, Freddie. I didn't give the treat fast enough, huh? Wow. Sounds like I need a union against Fred. I won't be abused this way, Fred. Are you gonna play, Fred? That's a no. How about the ball? Will you play with the ball? Will you play for the people? Are you on strike, Fred? Are you on strike? Will you only play if there's treats involved? Wow. What do you think, Fred? What do you think about the ball? Boop, boop. Fred's not into it. Look at him. He's not into it. A spice, I think, is underrated. I don't think MSG is underrated. I think MSG is just villainized. I think fenugreek is underrated. I don't think a lot of people use it. I think white pepper is a little underrated. I think most North Americans eat black pepper, but they never think about white pepper. What else do I think is underrated? Wow, Fred. I think coriander is a little underrated. I don't know. You tell me. Yes, I have some asafoetida. It is very pungent indeed. It can almost be like spicy if you put too much of it, in the way that too much garlic will be spicy. Ooh. Grade 10 students, huh? I'm gonna be poorly influencing all the youngins out there. This is my dream, to influence the youngsters while I can still brainwash them. What's your curriculum on? What do you teach? Yeah. Ooh, congratulations on your internship in New York. I hope you can survive in this city on your internship money. They better be paying you. I hope unpaid internships do not exist anymore. Yes? Can you confirm, please? Fred loves cheese. Of course he loves cheese. He loves all cheese. And yes, cats are apparently lactose intolerant, but I give Fred like yogurt all the time too, so. Yeah, unpaid internships need to go die. Very exploitative. You need to pay people at least the minimum wage as an intern. If you're not paying people anything and you're just giving them some stupid travel money and meal money, you can go fuck yourself. You don't need an intern then. You need to figure out how to get enough money before you can get an intern. Good. Paying you a little is better than paying you nothing. Yes, it is. Sonmat. Yes, that is it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but that is the Korean term. My friend Kevin Kim, who is a professor, and his area is like pop culture intersection with food, history, and all of that. Very cool stuff. Introduced me to that term, and I was like, that is a very cool term. Cardamom, I do feel like is still underrated, but I think it's come into the spotlight with a lot of desserts too. I think mott is taste. Fred, you're giving me a very good arm workout. Now I need to even out my arms. Bless you. Star anise. Definitely underrated, but I don't even know how to use it. You're too funny, Fred. Bye, Doc. Hi, Switzerland. I like to eat a too salty stew with something like rice or potatoes. That way you can kind of level out the salty levels. You're being a very lazy player today, Fred. Oh, I don't know how to read Korean. Schneckenhaus. Korean has always looked so funny to me. It's like lots of little loopy circles. Yes, I love that. This much, that much kind of cooking. That's basically when I asked my grandma how to make her steamed vegetable buns, that's what she told me. I was like, do you have more concrete measurements? She was like, no, whatever feels right, whatever you want. It's like, okay, well, what if I don't know how to feel, Mom? I guess you'll just figure it out. You'll have to learn about yourself through the act of cooking, what you like. Don't let other people tell you how much salt to put in. You put in the salt. Okra? I used to hate it. I'm okay with it. Listen, if I get more things for Fred, there will be no room for me to move in anymore. I like candied ginger too. Can you bake that soybean pulp? I feel like if you season it and bake it with a little bit of oil, it would make really good chips. I like tempeh, yes. Tempeh can be so delicious. I think he went to go poop. It's pooping time. Happy Cake Day, Stacy. I have not tried to make tempeh yet. Are they soothing? I'm so glad, because I have nothing else to talk about anymore. I'm very tired, and I really hope my test results come back so I can go on my trip. Nice. Results are back. Why is this such a complicated result? Just tell me if I'm positive or negative, please. Why is this so complicated? 0 results notes. What is going on? Okay. I think it just says not detected. So I think not detected means I'm negative. Yes? I hope yes. Does anybody know the difference between PCR and PLR? What's the difference between those two tests? Do you know? We got any doctors or knowledgeable peeps? Bangs are getting annoying. PCR is through the nose. So yes, that much I know. PLR, they assured me that it is PCR when I took it. I don't know if they lied to me or what. But this time it didn't go through my nose. Like, it didn't go all the way up into my brain. It felt like they only just swabbed my nostrils. It felt like they were trying to clean my nose instead of testing me for COVID. So, this test result says PLR, not PCR, which I hope is what they needed, because I asked 3 people when I took the test, is this PCR? And they were like, yes, it's the same test. And I was like, okay, I'm trusting you. Do you have a kitty visitor? Is she your cat now? The first time I got the test, it was all the way up, and I was like, whoa, it feels like you are plunging it into my eyeballs. It was very disturbing for me to feel, for sure. I'm not going to a different state. It's just it's the same state, just a different county. Hello, Washington State. Aw, she freaked out. It's okay. Maybe leave some food out for her. So we got a kabocha, and this one is called Golden Nugget. It's not a calabaza. And butternut. And yes, the pumpkin, they're all for a roasted seed recipe hosted video explainer. So they requested PCR, and they said rapid testing doesn't work for them, is not the one they wanted, but whatever. I think they'll accept this one though, guys. So I think I'm going to the Hamptons. Going to the Hamptons. Going to the Hamptons. And Aaron will be very happy, because when I was like, Aaron, if I don't get these test results, I think I'll just take my days off anyway and stay home and edit. And he got very sad. And he was like, I really wanted my alone time. And I was like, okay. I understand. I really enjoy my alone time too. So I think we're good for the Hamptons. And maybe I'll live stream there. But I know, I also don't belong there, but I got invited to like this kind of, it's kind of like this, it feels like a food expo. It's basically like a huge PR event where different food brands will be attending, and there's some media representatives, of which I am one, I guess, even though, fuck media. But it's nice to be invited to all these shindigs that I normally wouldn't have access to, and it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna ask them if I can take some videos, and if I can, I'll vlog some of it. I don't know if Barefoot Contessa Lady lives there. You mean like Ina Garten? Hamptons is very insane, and the wealth disparity there is absolutely bonkers. They have so many workers who I don't even know where they live, but on the whole, it's just like if there's any place you can see wealth and equity play out, it's the Hamptons. Lucinda, girl, you doing the good work. Totally into brainwashing? Nice, high five. Does hers have a diversity report? Yes. They put out one when the union asked for it and pushed for it. It doesn't look good. It's very white. Ooh, you got electricity back? Congrats. Bye, Lori. Guys, I think I'm gonna sign off. I think I'm going to go watch a movie, relax. I also need to take photographs of my receipts and do my expense report. Don't worry, I didn't tip anything this time because I didn't go out to eat this time. So hopefully no kickbacks. Thank you so much for watching the Viennetta finale episode, and thank you so much for watching Fred be a dumbass. And thank you so much for watching me eat soup and chatting with me. Okay, Fred, I'll give you one more treat because you're such a good boy and people love it when you're happy. Yes? Have a good rest of your day, everyone.